In the previous video, I mentioned that we had just moved the clownfish couple from their small tank to the main tank, where they now have to contend with all the other quite large fish. So why did we do this? What was wrong with the small tank? Well, not much actually. The small tank was pretty good. As you can see, they were quite happily laying eggs, and the eggs were maturing, and this was done repeatedly. Most of the time, the small tank was actually quite ideal. And the small tank was not actually that small. Over the years, as the clownfish grew, we've been upgrading them from tank to tank to tank, making sure that they're comfortable all the time. However, things were not perfect. Twice in the last half year, we had a dramatic cloudiness event coming from one of the anemones, and we had to do an emergency water change to clear up the tank for the health of the anemones and the clownfish. Clearly the anemones were not as happy as they could be, even if the clownfish seemed quite content. Another problem that we had, if you take a look at the top left corner of the big tank, you can see how crowded it is. That giant green Montipora is taking up most of the tank. So we didn't really have space to move the new clownfish across. We needed to first start by reorganizing the main tank. Let's look back a few years. The corals are growing very well. But as the years go by, they grow and grow and grow. Look at this. They've reached the water's surface. There's no more space to grow. First, let's take out the one in the middle. And now let's start taking pieces off the one on the left and making frags. Frags means small fragments of coral that we grow into new corals. Have a look in the sand at the bottom there. You'll see a bunch of frags. Right, let's chop away even more coral and make even more frags. And now we get rid of the last of that central coral. And finally, we get rid of that really large coral on the left. This is the one that's going to give us the space we need. Look at that. So much open space. This looks much, much better than it did a few months before. We've really made a space to put the clownfish. So let's start planning the move. This might be trickier than at first glance. These clownfish live with anemones. The anemones are attached to the rocks. We're going to have to move the entire home into the new tank. It's good that we made that much space. So now we've moved the rocks with the anemones. You can see them there on the top left of the tank in the place that was previously completely open. They're ready and waiting for the clownfish. So the last step will be to move those clownfish. And they can't wait to move. Their old home is no longer a great place to be. Time to move. So can you see the clownfish? They have moved, but they're hiding. They're very nervous. This new tank is scary. It's so big, and all these other fish. They wish they were back in their old tank, but this tank is going to get cleaned up and packed away. In the meantime, there is the little one. He's hiding down in the rocks, and in the cave behind him is where the large clownfish is. They're hiding for a little while, but don't worry. They will find their anemone soon enough. And there they are. They've both moved up to the anemone. They're looking slightly edgy, but I can tell you they are a lot happier now. And over the next few weeks, we kept an eye on them, and they got happier and happier. And importantly, the anemones got happy. Look at this. The anemone is fluffed up, enjoying its new tank. We've had them here for a month now, and there hasn't been any sign of any problems. This was a good move. And there on the right of the tank you can see the two original parent clownfish from our first breeding. And this large female on the left is the single remaining offspring from that breeding. She's a beauty. All the others found new homes, but we kept her. She is lovely.